started jiu-jitsu, I was 245 pounds. Within 8 months, I lost 60 pounds. Another month, 2 months, I lost another 5-10 pounds. And it really didn't have to do with coming out here and sweating. I mean, you know, it's a consistent workout. Sure, you're coming in, you're working out, but more than that, you're just buying into the lifestyle. You're buying into this fact that, oh, I see how people are eating. I see how they're treating their body. I see how they're taking care of themselves. I want to be like that.
That's it, restart right there. Sure. You either win or you learn. You have to have a good perspective when you jump into competition. You know, mine is just that no matter what happens, I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna get better, even if I win. You know, I'm just gonna get better at what I do.
Build on this a little bit. We can start to work a little bit more on the clinch.
Once I joined Jiu-Jitsu, I kind of found a purpose in life. It helped me build my confidence. I mean, overall, spiritually, it's been very fulfilling, and that has a lot to do with, you know, the instructors, Professor Adam, Professor Eddie, Professor Idris, you know, Instructor Hadis. Those guys have helped build a foundation in the school where, you know, everybody just has a great attitude, and it filters down to everybody else. And I noticed that when I first started, and it's helped me, you know, in my journey, as far as like building self-esteem, building confidence, you know, and it's had a great effect on my overall performance, you know, on the mats, my character outside the mats. I look at things a lot more positively just because of this. As I said, I've never found anything in my life that's been this fulfilling. So I'm always grateful that I discovered this, you know, and I took a chance on it.
I think that if you're married and there's something that you love to do together, it strengthens your marriage. From the littlest thing is you've got something to talk about that's not related to the day-to-day stresses, you know, something we both relate to. Now when he has MMA on or something, I'm more interested in it because I'm doing it. It's true, right? It's funny. You know?
Well, because, just got her introduced to something I love.
That's why he did it. That's why he got me in. No.
And she's right. I mean, this is our date night. I mean, it's Valentine's Day.
This is our
We're
date
here.
night. We go to dinner.
We'll still have a dinner.
It's good. Yeah, it's good though. We got kids, so it's a way to release stress.
Jiu-jitsu has made me handle stress a lot better than I did before.
The other one.
I call training mat therapy sometimes because it has an amazing way of relieving stress and really putting things into perspective. Yeah, it's pretty great. I'm addicted.
You know, it really has calmed me a lot, and it is a very good way to relieve stress. And even so, when I wake up in the morning, I go to work because I have to make a living just like everybody else here. You know, I'm able to perform better, I'm able to think better, and focus more on my job, focus more on my hobbies, including jiu-jitsu too. For training jiu-jitsu and thinking about my health so I can be a competent competitor is something I think about, you know, pretty much all the time. I mean, from whatever I put into my mouth, whatever I'm thinking about, and whatever I'm reading, I really try and concentrate on what I'm doing every single day. I really try and focus, and I try and maintain a certain discipline in my day-to-day life. And it surrounds around jiu-jitsu.
What it takes to become a competitor rather than someone that trains is, number one, you have to have fun with it. You have to constantly remember that it's gonna be good no matter what. And but you also have to know when to become serious. When training, you have to actually dedicate a lot of time. Rather than someone who just comes in as a hobbyist, they can just come in 2 times a week maybe. But then someone who compete has to come in almost every day, so they can make sure they're at the top physical shape and at their peak. So it's really tough on the body, but it keeps you really good.
People make a mistake, they leave it here or here. Gives you too much room to do what? Yeah. If I get tight here, I can even push off your face. And even in tournaments, sometimes you can push off. The further you stay away from the arm, it gives him what? More room around that. So even when I break here, watch this. Even when I break here, see how my head is tight here? Yeah, that's tight there. You see how tight this is? So even if you try to pull your arm down, boom, I'm already where? And you're a big guy with big shoulders. That makes sense?
Number one, physically, because I'm younger than most of the guys, they usually are way stronger. So I had to lift a lot of weights to try to keep up with them, and that takes a ton of strength and actually keeping a clean diet to do so. And then mentally, I have to remember that these guys are much older, and I can't play around with them like how I would a teenager, how I did my teenage years. So I have to just constantly roll with the older guys here and just constantly just remember that's how it's gonna be in the tournament. I started competing at 16. I started off competing in juvenile tournaments and then just going to compete up against the adults as time went on. I'm currently getting ready for a Pan American game, so that's basically Pan Ams is one of the most prestigious jiu-jitsu tournaments right now.
Both learning the sport of jiu-jitsu and learning the street applications, I think, are both very very valuable, and that's what I like about this school is that they teach the whole spectrum of what jiu-jitsu is as an art.
Anytime you start putting rules and time limits and stuff like that, then the athletes will prepare according to those rules and time limits. Their strategy, the way they compete, usually is going to be a reflection of those rules and time limits. And that's fine. If you guys are going to compete next month, then you need to know the rules, and you have to understand that's going to be an influence of your wins or losses. But we should also remember the perspective of what this art was arguably made for. It was made for the small guy to be able to beat the big guy in a real fight, without any judges, without any time limits. If we were to fight to the end of the time, how can you survive? Small guy versus the big guy. Well, if the guy wants to punch you in your face, how do you respond? So just remember, the real fight has 3 places that it can be fought: standing, clinching, and on the ground. We have a label of ground fighters, and that's going to be the fault of ours if we neglect the stand up and the clinch. That's our problem. It just so happens many people take this art as a hobby, and that's fine. It's a healthy hobby. Some people play golf. Some people come and roll around on the mats. You know what I mean? And it's healthy and it's fun. After a while, it becomes a little fun. And that's fine. A lot of people just come and train. I like attacking people out and not getting tapped. All that stuff is great. But we have to remember, man, the stand up and the clinch. We don't have to become boxers standing up. We don't have to become kickboxers, but we should strive to move like boxers and kickboxers. We should strive to manage the distance like boxers and kickboxers. I strive to punch and kick like a kickboxer too, but what makes me different is my perspective. I'm a jiu-jitsu fighter. When I punch and kick you, jiu-jitsu is a gentle art. If I break your nose to beat you, that's not the gentle art, that's a brutal art, Don't get me wrong. You have, these positionings that we obtain to take the fight to the ground, you have that capability. With good positioning, now you can really do some damage. But the essence is, man, to keep this person safe, keep ourselves safe, so we can move on our feet, we can move from the clinch, we can control the person on the ground. The art is meant for the small guy to beat the big guy.